Just kidding. I'm actually live. I'm actually live. Here we are. What's up, motherfucker? What's up, dude? What's happening, dude? What's good in the hoodie, dude? Here we are. Cheers, cheerio, mate. Chim chimmery, chim chimmery, chim chim chiroo. I am live right now. I'm live here with you. Chim cheerio, chim cheerio, chim chim chidooski, chidooski doo dooski, I'm chooski to do. We got the chats up on here. What's going on with the chats, bro? Let me just. What's up with this chat, bro? Sadi, what's up, motherfucker? What's up, motherfucker? Oh, Kevin's still live? Dang, I didn't know that. Is he gonna. What's up with my chat, bruh? Where's the chat screen? Let me fix this stuff up. I'm not seeing chat on the screen, bruh. Not seeing chat on the screen, bruh. Oh, man. What's up, Grand Rising, y'all beautiful ass motherfuckers? What's up, motherfuckers? Alright. It's gonna bug me, dude. We don't got chat on the screen for some reason. It says connected to YouTube chat successfully. Weird. Double dab this time. What's up, dude? How are y'all doing today? What's going down? Who's up in here? Who is up in here? Maybe the chat will come in later. I don't know what's going down, bro. If I just hit chat. Let's see. Did it work? Not working yet. Dang, bro. Let's just let some people trickle up in here. How are y'all doing? What's up? Cheers, cheerio, mate. Chim chimmeroo, chim chi. What's up with that Tripoverdrip? All right, so let's see who we got up in here. Let me come up over here. I'm live right now. I got some stuffs to talk to y'all about. Let's see, we've got Julia. Good evening. Grand evening. This is my first live today. We've got Queen Trip, beautiful Queen Trip up in the house. Let's go. We got Jay Smooth, Astro Strange, Melissa Clark. What's good? For some reason, we don't get chat on here today. That sucks. For some reason, there's no chat going through. Cheerio, mate. Cheerio. Is this on private again? Did I do it again? It is. That's why YouTube's not working. I meant to put it on public. All right, YouTube should be going now too. How are y'all doing today? What's up? What's up with you guys? How was this Thursday for y'all? You guys have a good old grand Thursday? A grand old Thursdizzle? Oh, there's the chat. Oh my God, here goes the chisel, dude. We gotta build this up though. We gotta get this a little bigger for y'all. How do I make it bigger? That's what I'm trying to do, is just make it bigger for Facebook. What's up, Facebook? Who's here, bro? What's up, Facebook? What's good? Can everyone on Twitch and YouTube say what's good, Facebook? Dang, Queen Trip's upstairs making protein cheesesteak. Dang, Queen Trip's on a 40 stream streak. Damn, dude, what's up, motherfuckers? All right, I just want to make sure everybody is on Facebook. Dang, you did some gardening, made some chicken rice bake. All right, Cindy. What's up, Elite Sky Killer? What's up, Ray? I see you. What's up, dude? Who's here? Terry, what's up? Dude, we got a good ass fucking little live to talk about some real stuff that's happening on planet Earth, bro. Real stuff happening on planet Earth right now. And well, actually, if I'm being honest with you, one of it's already happened. The other one's like currently happening. What's up, Quebec? What's up, Quebec? Where's everybody from, dude? Listening on YouTube, but chatting on Twitch. Let's go, dude. It doesn't let you comment on Discord. What do you mean, Amber Vines? I think you're here. I made pancakes tonight. I like pancakes. Hell yeah. If you guys are on Facebook right now, okay? Let me just nope, not this one. Let me just close that down a little. No, that one. Is it this one? I just can't remember which one it was. Orlando, Florida, let's go. Fish tacos, Seattle, Washington, Central Illinois. Hello from the tube world. What's up? Hell yeah. What's up, dude? What's up? Tripoverdrip on YouTube, bro. If you guys want to join on YouTube from Facebook. All right. Are you guys ready for today? How are y'all doing? Let me just take another rip ski from the pen ski. Alrighty then, huh? Do we just get right into it? You guys ready for today's mindful message? Let's just come over here. Alright, alrighty. What's up, Amy? If you're here, say what's up, dude. 38 times around the sun. Let's go, Terry. What's up, dude? Angel number readings by Athena. What's up? All right. You guys ready for today's mindful message? So let me get a drink real quick. Have you heard that there's a clause in the U.S. military bill that could quietly lock the U.S. into a shared war machine with another country? And at the same time, there's a case in the United Kingdom where a kid bled out in handcuffs while his killer's mom took the murder weapon home. The system calls all of this normal. If you're still here or here right now, please drop the word aware in the comments so I know that your brain is actually turned on for this one. Let's talk about NDAA Section 224 and Henry Nowak. Okay, first, NDAA Section 224. The NDAA is the National Defense Authorization Act, the giant must-pass bill that funds and shapes the U.S. military every single year. Hidden inside the latest version is Section 224, officially called United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. On paper, Section 224 does this. It orders the U.S. Secretary of Defense to appoint an executive agent to coordinate defense technology cooperation with Israel. The agent oversees joint development, testing, evaluation, integration, and industrial partnerships on defense technology. Translation is that it formalizes and deepens the tech integration between U.S. and Israeli militaries, especially around advanced weapons and systems. The supporters of this bill, or the establishment, they are all just saying this just streamlines what we already do together. We already cooperate. This makes it more efficient and transparent. They're also saying it doesn't give Israel control of U.S. forces or U.S. troops. They still have to answer to U.S. command and U.S. law. They're also saying it doesn't create new programs. It just puts one person in charge of coordinating existing ones. They claim that Section 224 actually strengthens U.S. sovereignty and security by managing key alliances better. Now that is the official story. Now, the critics of this bill or what we're being told are conspiracy theorists, this isn't just project management. It's another quiet step in a long-term project to mesh the US war machine with a foreign state's interest so tightly that saying no later becomes almost impossible. Like, come on, bro. Look at the pattern. Where are my neurodivergents at? Are you here listening? Because we can see decades of joint exercises, shared weapon systems, intelligence operations, billions in aid and tech transfers. Now there's going to be a dedicated executive agent whose whole mission is to knit the tech and industrial base together at a deeper level. On paper, it's just defense technology cooperation. But in practice, it's like bolting two nervous systems together and saying, don't worry, they'll still think for themselves. The fear, though, where is the fear? The fear is that once your weapons, software, logistics, and R&D pipelines are fused, foreign policy decisions start happening in lockstep, even when the American public doesn't actually want to be involved in certain conflicts. Now, we could also ask, if our tech, data, and infrastructure are so tightly integrated, who is really steering in a crisis? In disagreeing, do we practically have the ability to say no, or would that no mean breaking critical shared systems? From that lens, 224 doesn't look just like a boring admin clause. It looks like we're wiring a de facto joint war-fighting architecture, exactly what you would build if you were slowly moving toward shared military apparatus, whether regular people ever agree on it or not. You don't have to fully agree with that take, but you should at least understand why people are shouting about it. Now we're going to switch scenes. Do you know who Henry Nowak is? On December 3rd, 2025, 18-year-old student Henry Nowak was stabbed multiple times in Southampton by a 23-year-old Vikram Digwa. Henry was unarmed. He tried to get away. He was stabbed in his legs and fatally in the heart with a 21-centimeter knife, or 8 inches, a weapon Digwa called his Shastar, or a weapon, and that's what Shastar is weapon, and openly wore it. Not the small concealed kirpan that is allowed to Sikhs for their religious purposes, especially in the UK where knives are kind of illegal to carry around, but this specific religious group, they have religious practices that allow them to carry a knife. As Henry lay bleeding on the street, Digwa called the police and claimed that he was the victim, that Henry had attacked him and racially abused him. When the police arrived, and body cam footage shows this, Henry was handcuffed on the ground, repeatedly saying, "I've been stabbed and I can't breathe." The officer that responded, he literally says, "I don't think you have, mate," while Henry is literally laying there critically injured. Henry is dying in handcuffs, and he's being treated as a suspect. Meanwhile, Digwa was not handcuffed. He actually filmed Henry trying to flee, then filmed his face as he lay dying there. Videos later cited as aggravating the sentencing. And here's the part that most people don't know. Before the police arrived, Digwa called his parents. His mother, Karan Care, I'm not sure how to say that, came to the scene. She took that bloodied 8-inch knife and then took it and hid it at her home. She was also later convicted of assisting an offender and removing and hiding a murder weapon. Why am I saying this? Just sit with this, bro. A kid lies dying in handcuffs. The killer stays uncuffed. The killer's mom quietly removes the knife and takes it home. If that doesn't shake something in you, please just drop justice in the comments, because this is exactly the moment where justice went missing. At trial, the judge rejected the self-defense and racism claims as lies. Digwa was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life with minimum of 21 years. His mother was also found guilty of assisting an offender and waits sentencing. Homeland Security publicly called the murder horrifying and acknowledged that Digwa murdered Henry and then lied about him as he was laying there dying. Police are now under investigation for why the dying victim was handcuffed and dismissed while the murderer was not. Now, you might be asking yourself, why am I putting Section 224 and Henry Nowak in the same breath? Because they're two sides of the same deeper problem. Systems are being rewired in ways regular people just don't understand. And when those systems get tested in real life, humans like you and me, we get crushed. In the NDAA, you have a deepening, formalized military integration with a foreign power wrapped in language like efficiency and cooperation. In Southampton, you have policing protocols and cultural pressure so skewed that an accusation of racism was treated as more real than a kid bleeding to death, while a killer's mother calmly removes the weapon from the scene. None of those are theories. They're on paper, bro. They're on body cam. They're in court records. So yeah, the internet will slap conspiracy theorists on anyone who raises their voice about this stuff. But look at what's actually happening. Defense structures integrating quietly at a very, very high level. Justice structures malfunctioning catastrophically at the street level. You don't have to believe every wild claim online. But pretending that nothing strange is going on, that's not discernment, bro. That's denial. The real move is to learn the names, read the clauses, watch the footage, and ask who benefits when systems are this entangled and this blind. Because once you see how these things connect, you can't unsee high-level decisions and street-level tragedies as part of the same story. The world is being rewired, with or without your consent. I love you, Team Human. Bam, dude. It's a pretty good one, huh? It's a pretty good little mindful message, dude. Huh? It's good. That's good. That's good. Did you guys know about that stuff? Let's see who's up in here. We got 17 people, bro, up in Twitch, bro. We got 2 on YouTube. We got 4 on Facebook. What's good, bro? That's good. That's good, motherfucker. Team Human till the day I die. Hell yes. What's up? Let's go, Team Human. It's pretty. I like to just. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Release and Transform. I just like to, just got lots of stuff on my brain, dude. There's lots of crazy shit happening, bro. I have missed you, Lawrence. Truly, deeply, within my heart and soul, I have missed you, young Padawan. Just kidding. That's pretty crazy, huh? That literally, like, this guy, Digwa, bro, like, they were just walked up on each other, and Digwa stabbed Henry, bro, a bunch of times. And then when the cops showed up, he's the one that actually called the cops. And when the cops showed up, he said that he was a racist. And then the cops treated Henry, the one who had been stabbed, like a racist. And he literally died in handcuffs, being dragged across the gravel. Did you guys know about Section 224, bro? Basically, the two most evil war machines on the planet are joining forces. Hey, isn't it just, it's just a great time to be alive, bro. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how it felt to be alive 30 years ago and be a adult grown up having to do all this stuff. Obviously 30 years ago I was only 8 years old and the world seemed like it was a much different place at that period of time. And I think that it was a different period of time. I think it was a different period of time for like the adults too. Only in the aspect is now like the demons are just like right in your face about it. You know, people don't hide the fact that porn is a thing. The Jews own all of the porn websites, bro. You know, gambling. I remember there was a content creator named Steve Will Do It who literally got his account banned. He had millions of followers. He got his account banned because he had a little tiny thing in the bottom of his video for a gambling thing. And now, guess what, bro? You can gamble on anything. They're hoping that life is so hard for you to survive that you're willing to spend your hard earned money hoping on a dream that these programs and systems aren't rigged to literally give you back just enough money so that you give them everything. That's why you can literally, you can fucking go on to Polymarket or Kalshi right now and probably bet on all sorts of stuff. If Trump's gonna wear a red tie tomorrow, if fucking Zelensky's gonna show up in military garb or a suit next time. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? It's all part of the scheme. And you're right. You should, if I'm gonna just say it exactly how it needs to be said. If you're a human that struggles with porn, you should just stop it, bro. There's something sacred about the sexual energy exchange between two humans, as well as, you got to think about it. Why does that one country just own all of the porn websites? Oh, because guess what? If they find out what you freaking goon to, bro, you can be definitely blackmailed. Especially if your gooning goes dark and you're into some like weird shit thinking nobody's watching, but another country literally owns all of the data from the website that you go watch. I'm just being 100% honest with you, especially you males out there. June is Men's Mental Health Month. Do you ever have any of you males that see this ever actually thought that there's possibly a connection between maybe your low mental health and the fact that you just sexually satisfy yourself and that you don't actually have human connection? I learned this new term a few weeks ago that I never heard before, called incel. It's like voluntarily celibate or involuntary celibate, meaning like they're just like these weird trolls that live in their mom's basement, and there's no possible way that they could ever muster up enough courage to ever even speak to an attractive girl. So they just voluntarily or voluntarily involuntary like sign up to be celibate. And then, I just think that potentially that's where you get these fucking kids that are on SSRIs and then they go and shoot up a school or something. And then you just have to take into the lens of fucking MK Ultra, and then you never actually know what the fuck is happening because there could be some fucking low frequency voice talking to them inside of their head because they're been so deranged and maybe got institutionalized as a child for some weird crazy thing that they did, that they just like put a metal implant inside the back of their teeth, and then all of a sudden this low frequency can just speak to them, and then just they think that they're schizophrenic, or they think that they are possessed by demons or hear voices, and then all of a sudden it's actually someone priming them and grooming them in a different way than sexual abuse, but they're grooming them to become more violent and more hateful and just perpetuating the negativity and the evilness behind all of that, and then slowly over time just grooms them to believe the voice that's inside of their head. And then next thing you know, that person grabs a firearm and then walks somewhere where there's innocence. It's kind of crazy to really think about if you just put it like that. Maybe I've said too much. Maybe I'm on a list somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I know too much shit and I'm using my platform to talk about it, and seems like these platforms don't like this stuff. So thank you for fucking being here. Thank you for always being here. If you're always here, thank you for every like, comment, share, subscribe on all the platforms you do, because they don't like someone like me, bro. Someone like me that literally climbed out of the depths of hell, physically and metaphysically and spiritually, because heaven and hell are states of being. Their states of mind, a level of consciousness, a vibrational frequency that the human essence enters into. You could be in a version of heaven or a version of hell right now based off of what's happening in your situation. They're not places, bro. I've climbed out the depths of hell. And I have been this way my whole life, bro. I actually just don't really give a shit. I'm just going to continue to say and do what I know is true. I'm going to continue to do what my God tells me to do. And hopefully, if you've been here for quite a while, you can take a larger consensus of what my message is and what I'm trying to achieve, and the goals that I have of even putting out content and bringing people together to conversate, community, all of that stuff. And I love my life. I would never harm myself. But I'm going to keep doing this until the last day of my existence in this phase of existence. Because energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transformed. And legends never die. But let's get into this shit. Let's get into this shit. You know who Ro Khanna is, bro? $1.2 trillion for more war. It's 65% of our budget. I had them all brought upstairs.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're okay. Looking mighty fine over there.
A nearly $1.2 trillion budget. You know, that's 65% of the entire discretionary federal budget. 2/3 of the money of taxpayers is going to what they call the Department of War. Instead of going for jobs here in America, instead of going for child care here in America, instead of going for health care in America. You know, someone greater than everyone collectively on this committee warned about that. Dwight Eisenhower, who won World War II, gave the Cross of Iron speech. And he said every bomb built, every missile built, was a school not built, a hospital not built, a homeless shelter not built. The American people are begging us in election after election, saying, don't send our money overseas. Don't get into these wars. Listen to George Washington. How about having a Marshall Plan, not for Europe, but a Marshall Plan for America? How about rebuilding the deindustrialized towns? How about creating jobs here? Instead, we build out this budget and then we force our presidents into wars in Iran, and the American people feel betrayed. Now, I know I've been casting lonely votes on this committee. No. They boo me on the committee sometimes. Kana, there's another no. And I warned they would raise this budget to over $1 trillion. And they said, Ro, you're crazy. They would never do that. Well, here we are. If we don't draw the line in the sand now, we're going to be consumed by a military-industrial complex that cares more about Tehran than Toledo. I strongly support Congressman Moulton's budget to actually put Team America first instead of foreign interests.
Oh, I was just so hoping he would say Team Human right there. That'd been sick, huh? Eventually, we're gonna get people like that saying it. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. But you're right. Like, dude, what the fuck? $1.5 trillion for war, bro? Insane, bro. Oh yeah, I had to show you guys this one. The New York Democrats just voted to erase mother and father. Governor Kathy Hochul will be replacing mother with gestating parent and father with non-gestating parent.
It's a non-gestating parent and paternity parent. The New York Democrats argue the words mother.
I love all humans, and I support and respect every human that there is. Obviously, unless you're a predator or a pedophile, then you got to go. But I just will point out, it does say in the Bible that the demons will refer to themselves as they, them. I'm not saying that I think that transgender people are demons, but there could be some dark energy using this realm of humanity to do dark and nefarious things.
And father are outdated and need to be replaced with more inclusive terms under state law. All that's needed now is Governor Kathy Hochul's signature. So if Hochul approves, in New York's family court and in domestic and education law, a mother would be labeled as a gestating parent, a father as a non-gestating parent, and paternity proceedings to determine the child's father would be called parentage proceedings. The bill passed the state Senate this week and the state assembly back in March. Governor Hochul proudly calls herself New York's first mom governor. It's unclear if she'll support this change, though.
I'm not familiar with what was introduced late last night, so I'll take a look at it. I have until the end of the year to review them and make a decision, so I won't be commenting on pending legislation.
It's fucking crazy, huh, bro? Like, what kind of... I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk about that shit, because that shit's insane, bro. I don't know about you, but... I might get hit for copyright for this, but I don't give a fuck. I want to play this anyways. Just in case you guys needed a little reminder.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
Yes, all of you. You need to watch this documentary, bro. Most people are not ready to be unplugged, bro. And many of them are so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will literally fight to protect it. It starts at home. It starts being honest about things with kids. It starts about talking to your loved ones about the things that actually matter. Who gives a fuck about their Matrix job? Who cares how they're doing at their job that they give all their energy to so some other dude can get rich? The only way that any of this is going to ever change is if it becomes common knowledge. You know, there was a period of time when flat Earth wasn't as what it is today. And how do you think everyone on Earth is either on round Earth or team flat Earth? It's because people talked about it. People talked about their ideas. They conversated about this way or that way. It starts to get to the point where you literally have to just get out of your comfort zone and start asking people what they actually know about this Epstein guy. What do you actually know about the Third Temple? Oh, you're a Christian? What are your beliefs about Jesus' mom? What do you think she was? You know what I mean? Let's get to the real roots of stuff. If we're going to be talking about God, let's really talk about God. If we're going to be talking about this materialistic world, let's talk about the shit that actually needs to be talked about. That allegedly, there's over millions of kids that are disappearing globally every year. Allegedly, Comet Ping Pong was a front for our government to traffic and allegedly eat children. How nobody talks about Comet Ping Pong anymore. Okay, on to a lighter note.
Well,
I'm obsessed with the pyramids and ancient cultures. You all probably know this if you've been here for a while. Filippo Bondi is talking to Joe Rogan about what he found under the pyramids of Giza. You might have seen the scans, you know, the huge cylindrical pillars that were supposedly scanned underneath the pyramids. The guy that is in this clip with Joe Rogan is the actual guy who did the scans. Let's listen to what he says.
what did you feel when you first saw those images that do appear to be immense columns? I believe they're the diameter is 20 meters.
20 minutes.
So they're huge, enormous columns.
Yes.
What went through your mind?
Skepticism. I told for also Corrado we had those results for in our desk without disclosure or anything for 6 months, because my opinion was that was not real. I was thinking that maybe it was noise or some artifacts due by our processing procedures.
Did it give you pause at all that they were so uniform, that these columns were in very specific places and that they lined up, there was a uniform gap in between them?
Yes. And why we disclosure this? Because we started to use also other satellites. And once we...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you don't know about the fucking scans of the pyramid, let's check them out real fast, duder. You guys want to come check them out real fast, duder? Let's get up over here, right here. Can you show me the LiDAR scans of the Giza pyramids? Where are they at? Right here. So the thing that's crazy about this specific technology that's looking at the pyramid is this isn't just like some offshoot. This is like more realistic of what they saw. But this technology is used all over. It's not just this isn't just like one solid technology that was used just for the pyramids, bro. This technology has been used for a lot of shit, bro. Look at this. You see this here? The fucking columns under the pyramid, bro, are taller than the tallest building in Dubai, is what the scans show. Deep, deep into the planet. Who's here? What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Ooh, thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits. Let me pull you in close. What's up? What's up, guys? Who's here? Let's see. We got 20 peeps. Carol Baskin. I do remember Carol Baskin, bro. From the Tiger King, bro. I wonder how old Tiger King's doing up there in the prison, dude. The boyfriend and shit. Let's see. Who's it? Let's see here. Hey, I appreciate you for the bits, homie. Thank you for the bits. Hell yeah. Tiger King's not dead, bro. Did the Tiger King die? No, Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic. Hell yeah. Let's see here. We got 3 on Facebook. What's up, Facebook? We've got 2 up over here on YouTube. We got 19 on Twitch. Let's go. I thought Carol fed him into a tiger or something. No, that was Carol's ex-husband that disappeared miraculously. That's what everybody thought. What's up, you Facebook? What's up, dude? What's up, Facebook? What's up, motherfuckers? Damn, we got 10 people now on Facebook. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What were we doing over here? Oh yeah. Did you guys know that they found a body of one of the missing scientists, bro? Amber Vines, what's up? Did you guys know they found a body? Anyone? Did anyone know? They found a body of one of the missing scientists, bro. Let's hear it. Whoa.
O'clock. Well, it almost. Good evening, New Mexico. Thank you so much for joining us here at 10 o'clock. Well, it almost.
Sorry. Wait, what? Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. Love you guys. Thank you, Team Human, for being patient, knowing that I just like make little weird, little silly stoner things where I just like fuck up and watch videos without you guys. Sorry. Please forgive me.
Good evening, New Mexico. Thank you so much for joining us here at 10 o'clock. Well, an almost year-long
Hey,
missing
what's
persons
up?
case has been solved,
Trevor, what's up, dude? What's up, motherfucker?
but now there are plenty of new questions. New Mexico State Police found remains near Taos, and after an investigation, state police...
You know what's weird? I hate to even just say it like this, bro. But he looks like a Trevor, bro. My whole life I didn't like that name, bro. It's because all the other Trevors just look like dweebs, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Police then determined they were the remains of missing Los Alamos National Laboratory worker
My name's Trevor.
Melissa Casillas. The remains of missing Los Alamos National Laboratory worker Melissa Casillas.
You always be fucking with me.
Near Taos, and after an investigation, state police then determined they were the remains of missing Los Alamos National Laboratory worker Melissa Casillas. The Carson National Forest, that ridge is not too far away from where Casillas was last seen. Investigators say a handgun was found next to her body. State police added, though, that the cause and the manner of her death are still under investigation. Now, last year, Casillas' daughter came home from work on June 26th to find her mother was missing. She was last spotted on surveillance video that same day walking down a road in Taos County carrying a backpack. But she had, according to reports, left her purse and a phone at home, and that phone had also been factory reset. Now, finding Casillas then became a topic of national discussion when the circumstances behind her disappearance started to match similar missing persons cases, including retired Air Force Major General William McCaslin, who went missing back in February. And then there's also Stephen Garcia. He was last seen in late August of last year. He worked at the Albuquerque branch of Kansas City National Security Campus. And then Anthony Chavez.
Dude, it looks, I don't know, he looks like he has a helmet on, you're right.
Was retired when he disappeared in May of 20.
Like, whoever does his lineup just does a sweet-ass job. Like, yeah, like Lego hair.
25, but he had also previously worked as a staffer over at Lanel.
Why is it that most Trevors just look like dweebs like that, bro? You know, just like the fuck. I don't want to say nerd in like a derogatory term, because I am a nerd, bro. How'd you think I pulled out that fucking Palantir freaking Lord of the Rings reference, bro? Dungeons and Dragons, bro. Magic the Gathering, bro. I played Pokemon, bro, as the actual card game. StarCraft, you know what I'm saying? Remember StarCraft, Warcraft, bro? The real cool games on the computer and shit. And yes, I did read Twilight, bro, and the whole series, bro.
According to multiple reports, police had previously stated that both McCaslin and Garcia are believed to have taken guns with them when they disappeared, but there have been relatively few updates since then on where they could be.
Shit, dude, she's dead, bro. It said that she had, it's kind of crazy actually, that her body had been skeletized, it said. One of the reports I saw, let's see here. Yeah, missing U.S. scientist body found skeletonized with a gunshot wound. What does skeletonized mean? It was like just a completely bare bones? Is that what it means? I read all the Harry Potter books, bro. I read all the Harry Potter books. You want to know what's a really good book? Can I give you guys a book recommendation? It's not the books that I've been showing you. Oh, it's right here. Any of you guys like fiction, fantasy books? Fiction, fantasy books? Anyone here? Let me know in the chat. Fiction or fantasy books? This book right here, The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. This is hands down one of my most favorite book series of all time, bro. It has to do with light and the color spectrum, and each color is harnessed and signified into like a different field of alchemy and magic. It's a pretty dope book. Show it again. The Black Prism. The Black Prism. I don't really read a lot too, but I'm trying to read at least for 30 minutes every day, bruh. Every day I'm trying to read at least a little bit. Just to get your brain exercised up. Oh yeah.
We cannot hide away.
If I'm pulling up a motherfucking World Economic Forum video, you already know this supervillain is about to say something villainous.
We cannot hide away from human population growth because, you know, it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago.
The things on planet Earth wouldn't be a problem if the population what it was 500 years ago. Let's eradicate them. Let them eat bugs. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be
what a photo this is.
A little rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? Remember when I showed you yesterday the video of Ivanka Trump talking about her new alleged I will not hurt myself Epstein Island 2.0 in Albania? You know, her and her husband? You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, let's just go down the rabbit hole a little deeper. This is not any close to anything opinions I say. This is all just James Lee put this out here. We're just gonna watch James Lee's content and we're gonna discern and just figure out what's going on planet Earth, bro. I don't fucking know. I need to grow up.
It's May 13th, 2018. You got Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, across from Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Caption: productive meetings in Israel today. Very big things are happening. Of the 4 people, 2 of them still working for Israel. 1 has been permanently silenced, and the other is in very hot water. Did Jared Kushner kill Charlie Kirk? Is that a possibility? CHS advised that this was the real collusion story. Trump had been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind his organization and his presidency.
Kanye said, I think Jared is Trump's handler.
And then after talking to them and really sitting with Jared and sitting with Josh and finding out other pieces of information, I was like, wow, these guys might have really been holding Trump back and being very much a handler.
How did they meet? I have to look at how Jared and Ivanka met. Right? Because
I gotta know, bro. I gotta know. Who's Team Ye, bro? Did you guys fall for the programming and turn your back on Ye? I don't know. I fuck with Kanye West, bro. Like, dead ass. What's goody? Kanye been saying Kanye stuff for a while, and if you've been on that tip like Kanye was way back when, you kind of been piecing together the pieces up to get to now where it's like, oh shit, Israel and America are gonna join militaries? Maybe everything is ran by them. I don't know. And then you're like, oh, wait a second, Kanye's fucking physical therapist literally did fucking threaten him to send him back to zombie land by giving him a cocktail that and then like rubbing it in, like, how do you think it will be to visit your kids like that and shit? Weird. I like Kanye, bro. I don't know. Let's finish this video and we'll look into what Kanye is doing, because I swear, bro, even after all this stuff, bro, all the stuff that he been saying, right, about Israel and the Jews and stuff, I swear to God, bro, I seen clips of him, like, video clips of him, like, dead ass apologizing to the Jews, and I swear Kanye went Rabbi Shmuley and shit. I don't know. maybe not Shmuley, but he's like, I'm sorry, guys. And to be honest, if you know you want to go on an even deeper rabbit hole, bro, this is for entertainment purposes only, and only allegedly. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I believe in Bigfoot, all right? Like, really, to my core, Bigfoot is real. If you believe in Bigfoot in the chat. Come on. But anyways, let's just go ahead and flip that back a little bit. What if the Kardashians is a coven of witches? What could you ever mean, Trip? What do you mean, a coven of witches? What if Kylie Jenner? What if the reason Kylie became Kylie, or Caitlyn Jenner, I mean, sorry, not Kylie. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner because Caitlyn did something that he wasn't supposed to do, and that coven of witches wanted to torment him for the rest of his life, and they forced him to change his gender, dude. That's like an 86 from the club, dude. I don't know. What do you think? It's like, yeah, you learned something you shouldn't, and you told someone you shouldn't have. So if you still want to live, we're gonna need you to snip, snip. Crazy. Why is it that there's like a Kardashian curse, dude? Why is that even a thing? Aren't curses like, if you look at like literature, like family curses are put on by witches? What if Bruce Jenner was a warlock and secretly they made him snip, but he placed a curse on them that would prevent any of them from finding love. And so every relationship that they ever had, it all just went tanked. All the NBA players that have been with Kardashians, all their careers went to shit after they got with the Kardashians. Like almost every star that's got with the Kardashian went to shit. It's kind of crazy to think about, dude. Weird. Let's get back over here.
That's how he could get in. He was the handler. Trump was saying all kinds of unhinged things in 2015 about the Israelis, actually. And they're saying, all you guys are controlled by the lobby.
So is Jared the honeypot?
Jared, well, through the daughter, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yes. Moishe Lax. Of course, it was a guy named Moishe Lax.
A New York Diamond heir
But
is the one that introduced them.
At a kosher steakhouse across from Trump Tower. Awesome.
So
look, this is really not beating the stereotypes.
No.
Can I turn you on to some fucking info? Some of you guys know this probably. Some of you guys might not know this. Okay, so we all know that if you're not a Jew, you're a goyim, right? That's what they believe, correct? Do you know what kosher is? Kosher is the strict diet that the Jews eat. Have you ever seen this U? The U in the circle or the K in the circle, bro? Did you know that this is on like almost every single item, food item in the grocery store, and this will literally tell you, how, like, nobody ever tells anybody this. Nobody really knows anything that's even on their food. But if you see the U on there, guess what that means? That means that it's kosher food. Kosher means that it's healthy. Has like a kosher is like a very strict diet that the Jewish culture stays to. The kosher logo is to show that a product has been certified under kosher supervision. The CRC notes that a logo alone is not automatically trustworthy, but let's see, what is the kosher diet? What's up, Kyle Finnegan? But the kosher logo on kosher food is basically supposed to signify that it's up to the health parameters for the Jewish culture, correct? Basically the same thing. It's telling me no, but a kosher logo is mainly meant to show that the food product complies with Jewish dietary law. The symbol tells observant Jewish consumers that the ingredients, equipment, production, process follow kosher rules. It also often indicates the food's kosher category, such as a peri, meat, dairy, Passover status. Just in case you didn't know, if you ever see that little K mark, that U mark on there, that means that food's safe enough for Jews to eat. So if it's safe enough for them, we need to unite and eat the food that they eat. You know what I'm saying? No more goy slop. Cheers, mate. Just kidding, I don't even have any drink. I need some drink. If my wife can hear me, send someone down to get my cup, please. Anyways, got off on a tangent. We're going to get back into this last little video, and then we're probably going to keep watching the Mind Unveiled Jesus video that we watched yesterday. Who's here? Let's see who's here. We got 4 people on YouTube. YouTube, say what's up. Dang, 23 peeps on Twitch. What's up, Twitch? What's up, motherfuckers? We got 5 people on Facebook. What's up, Facebook? How are y'all doing to dizzle in my nizzle? To dizzle in my nizzle. It looks like we're actually done here, bro. We might just come right back over to Mind Unveiled, bro. What's up? What's up? Don't be shy. Please hit the like button. Thank you much for being here. We'll see. We don't really follow the Christmas religion around here. Like all of my kids just barely turned 9, 11, and 13. 2 months ago they were 8, 10, and 12. And my kids have known that Santa wasn't real for a while. We like to still do some sort of I appreciate you. Come back, kid. What's up, Amber Vines? What's up, dude? Who's been following me on Facebook? Who was following me on Facebook this past Christmas? Can I just ask you guys? Who here seen my freaking Decode December series, bro? Anyone? Amanda, what's up, dude? Dang, Scott, you're a beast, homie. You're a beast, homie. You're a beast. 13 monsters, bro? Dude, I love Christmas time. Only because it just gives me so much content to create, because Christmas, bro, like, come on, dude. That's like one of the biggest programming mechanisms on the planet, dude. Can you agree? Can you all agree? Christmas is Christmas. Christmas. Alright, before we get into this, dude, it is built from pagan beginnings. You're correct. You know the Amanita muscaria mushroom that's got the white and red dot. It's red with white dots. It's actually like most iconically known as the like Mario mushroom. Yeah, the Amanita muscaria mushroom. Did you know that those grow under the coniferous tree? Which the coniferous tree is the Christmas tree. Both of those species of plants are native to Siberia. And then in Siberia, their yurts would get so packed over with snow that the only way to even get into the house was through the chimney. And then these shamans would actually eat themselves as well as give the Amanita muscaria to the reindeer, which is actually also native to Siberia, these Amanita muscaria mushrooms. And then that he would trip and then go house to house through the chimney bringing presents and this psychedelic medicine and gifts and stuff. Hey, can you grab me some coffee, bro? I have a cup, yeah. If the coffee is in the coffee, piss off.
Can't show my body.
You can't show your body. You're right.
I have my man boobs on.
You have your shirt off. Thank you for not coming in the camera's view.
Because I was doing the dishes.
Your long hair makes you look like you are Tarzan, bro. You actually look like the kid from the Wild Thornberrys.
Wait, let me go get my shirt on. Let me go get my shirt on.
Krampus. Krampus. All right, so I'm gonna, now that he's going to give me some coffee, I don't have to leave. I can actually just chill. So let's get right back into where we were.
Times in which the new timelines are being scripted. The recurrent years ago. Yet, this conflation of timelines was a topic of serious debate during
Where were we?
Petrarch's era, revealing a broader tendency to mix distant epochs with events that were unfolding only a few hundred years ago, and even during the times in which the new timelines are being scripted. The recurrence of such anachronisms suggests that medieval narratives often, but they need to do this if the Magi existed in biblical time. Islam? But how could that be possible?
I got my shirt on
And this one,
so they can finally see me.
He wants to say what's up. Everyone say what's up, Cletus.
Can't see people.
Here's the chat right over here.
I know.
Facebook can't see you. You're right there, bro.
I go right here. Wait, where's the camera?
The camera's right here. If you want to look at the camera, it's right there.
Yes, no.
Okay.
What's up, Cletus? Hey, buddy.
Yeah, look at this long hair, bro.
I'm turning it into dread soon.
Yep. Dreadlock Rastaman.
What's up, Cletus? Hey, buddy. What's up, Cletus? Love your... Scotty Wheel just said Cletus, love your... And then...
Love your... He said he loves your dad.
I thought right there it didn't show anything.
Oh.
I thought right there was a different message.
Yeah. He does look like Tarzan, huh?
Look, let me show you back.
Mm-hmm. Long.
I think it was longer than when Dad started doing his hair.
Show him your muscles. He's been going to the gym with me. Oh, look at those, snap, boy! Look at them guns. You need a Band-Aid, bro?
No, why?
Because those are cut, dude. Hey! Heck yeah, dude.
This one's bigger than one arm.
Okay, say bye.
Because I mostly use them.
Bye! See you later, dude.
Hello.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Like, if I could just be 100 with you, like, there's a reason for all of it. That's what the whole purpose of all of this is. It's for them. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, love you, bye.
from 1460, there are also medieval castle-like buildings in the background and medieval ships. Now, some may argue that a crescent alone is not really that suspicious. Perhaps it's just...
We already seen this.
...some type of hair. The Argonaut's voyage occurred much closer to our time than traditionally.
Maybe we might just start off at another one. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, dude. Got ADHD like a motherfucker, boy. Let's just brain rot some people for a second and fuck up their whole reality, can we? Can I just fuck your guys' reality up in 1 second? Let's just go with the Cabbage Patch Kids. If y'all are Tripoverdrip veterans or watched Mind Unveiled, you guys definitely already know what's up. But let's go ahead and just melt the minds of the people who've only been here for a minute.
On Old World Photoshop, we began to notice a trend with old postcards from the 1900s showing early examples of compositing. There isn't much information on these.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did that just say Krampus? You said Krampus. Where are you at, Crumpy?
Search on Old World Photoshop, we began to notice a trend with old postcards from the 1900s showing early examples of compositing. There isn't much.
Krampus is taking away all the naughty kids. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why. Krampus is taking the kids.
Information on these. If there's a catalog.
That really was just off the cuff right there. You guys got a little concert.
It's not easy to come by, but many of these are early examples of photo manipulation. They had surreal, real photo postcards, in which they would attempt to trick people with the illusion of photography. As we continued to look through these old postcards, a very strange and unsettling trend started to become apparent. It began with just simple baby postcards. At first thought, seems like any ordinary postcard.
Real quick, I just want to put it out there for everybody who's here. Do you know what the very first movie was? The very, very first recorded movie ever. Do you know what that was? We'll come back to that.
But as with the same Sky postcard mystery, where the author began to see a trend of a variety of postcards, well, there's a category of postcards that deserves its own name and label, but it doesn't seem very well known, as there are no websites or videos explaining this topic. We shall call it the mystery of the repopulation postcards. There are other names for this style, such as baby postcards. By the end of this video, you'll be shocked at how many of these there are. We're talking in the thousands. We found one reference to what these cards were in a book on Amazon named Babylon, Surreal Babies, in which the author describes these same peculiar 1900s postcards and how they were deeply influential to many famous artists, including Salvador Dali. Yet, the author even admits that little is known of their history. In order to understand why we've labeled them repopulation postcards, a thorough understanding of resets, Tartaria, orphan trains, incubators, asylums, and Oddfellows will be necessary. These cards depict babies being grown.
Babies being grown? Is that cabbage?
There are many different styles within this category. One of the most interesting is the Cabbage Patch Babies, a variety of themes involving growing babies. Babies on plants. Babies on mushrooms?
Babies on mushrooms? That's the animated muscaria mushroom I was talking about. That kind of looks like a present, and they would actually feed them to the reindeer, and the shaman would eat it and bring presents.
Babies in the water. Babies in a nest.
Yeah, you ever wondered, you know how, like, it's kind of weird, like, being a kid, you guys remember fucking, what is it that, like, why was it that fucking storks, it was always like, why is it depicted in, like, old cartoons that storks would bring babies and shit?
Babies in a nest. Babies in eggs being hatched. Then the babies arrive on the train.
Humunculus? Tartaria, the Great Reset? Jeffrey Epstein?
There's something eerie about these photos, as if someone's trying to tell us something.
What are they trying to tell us?
We've also got kids in Cabbage Patches. Does this have anything to do with the Cabbage Patch Kids? So where do babies come from? In the early 1900s, the most common answer given to children would simply be that the stork would bring the babies, or that they were found in a cabbage patch. But why would babies be found in cabbage patches? The legend of the Cabbage Patch Kids involves a young boy named Xavier who meets a mystical fairy bunny bee creature, so a hybrid or chimera, and he follows this bunny bee through a secret tunnel behind a waterfall. On the other side of this waterfall, he finds that babies are being produced in a cabbage patch. The stork, known as Colonel Casey, would then come and pick up the babies. He even has his own uniform. So he's a worker, a soldier, as well as the Cabbage Patch Kids' official historian that would then deliver the babies to their new homes. Not only that, but there's an evil witch named Lavender McDay. She and her weasel and jackrabbit henchmen are literally trying to enslave the Cabbage Patch Kids to be miners to dig for gold in the valley. You can get all the exposition for the lore and story through their 10-song album. It goes over how they were created, to the witch, to even a lament about their enslavement. It's pretty dark. The original concept for the cloth dolls was created by Martha Nelson Thomas, and she called them doll babies. And the story really had nothing to do with cabbages or chimeras or witches. It wasn't until Xavier Roberts, or Xavier, like the little boy in the story, hijacked her design that it became what it is today. So I can't help but wonder if Xavier Roberts just told the story all on his own. Like, did it come to him from the collective consciousness? Or does he just have a soft spot for child labor? There's actually a place you can go in White County, Georgia, where they do live births, and you can look it up on YouTube to see what I'm talking about. The bunny.
Wait, what? They do live births of Cabbage Patch Kids? That's weird as fuck to just even think about.
The character also is a hybrid creature of two animals that both symbolize death and resurrection on a mass scale. As we know, rabbits reproduce in droves, and the bee symbolism makes me think of a hive, or a queen or source where all the offsprings originate from. It would seem that this is some sort of reference to babies being created in a lab on a mass scale. Why were there so many orphans? The most common answer will be, the baby boom. But this didn't happen until 1946 to 1964. These postcards are from 1890 to 1910, and there's really no explanation for the burst of orphans that we see being brought into the United States, or the amount of orphanages and asylums that exist that no longer seem to be necessary. Could the baby boom narrative be a way to sweep this part of history under the rug? The orphanages were all shut down, and after the 60s, people just stopped having babies and getting married after World War II, according to the narrative. Then there were the
Oh, we're getting into incubators.
Incubators of 1900s. It's difficult to keep premature babies alive with modern technology, yet they were doing this back in 1835 in Europe. They turned this into a sideshow, where at the world fairs, they would show off these child hatcheries, these incubators of live children. And for some reason, the royals would come and witness these events. So there's this genetic manipulation cloning idea, in which these babies are actually being grown in some sort of pods. Perhaps the symbolism of the Cabbage Patch mirrors that process. Humans do resemble plants in the way that we're connected to a stem in our fetal state, and our whole lives are spent ripening. In the fetal abduction theory, we typically see a nurse-looking woman with either a fishing hook or a fishing net pulling a child out of the water. Perhaps the hook and net represent medical tools and the water amniotic fluid. In either scenario, it would make sense that these babies have to end up in incubators or hatcheries. And it begs the question, how did all these premature babies get here? If women back in, these days were having babies prematurely, why in such large numbers? And the babies all being babies, they'd have to have traveled there somehow within a short period of time. What are the chances that so many premature babies were driven from wherever their mothers were to these incubators all in time? And why do they charge people to view them as if this was some sort of exhibition or sideshow and not a pressing matter of life and death? For centuries, the stork has been thought of as a symbol for new beginnings and family lineage. The idea that this creature represents life-giving events also makes sense because storks are monogamous creatures, and they mate only once every year with their partners that they've chosen beforehand, choosing mates based solely on personality instead of looks, like when.
Dang, the catacombs are the bones of the parents from the Great Reset. Damn.
The other birds. Now we've got kids inside a train. Orphan trains. Why so many orphans? Were these orphans taken from their families? Were they trained to instruct a new generation of genetically created babies? Or were they womb-napped babies? And we've got kids growing on trees, kids being carried by storks. The Greek goddess Hera and her Roman counterpart Juno also favor the stork. And I'm sure you guys remember that quirky little teen pregnancy movie from the 2000s. And I suspect that Artemis of Ephesus is an ancient fertility symbol used by the elite to signify their ability to reseed a new population. So we've got hooks removing babies, kids in the water with a woman holding a net or fishing rod. Is the water the amniotic fluid, pulling children from the wombs of their mothers perhaps? Could that be why there are so many premature babies? Or are they genetically manipulated? Cloning is not impossible. Just look at Miracle Millie. I think that the movie Aeon Flux is a great example. Hollywood is definitely alluding to this reality of artificial repopulation. The Cabbage Patch Kids sort of reminds me of those medieval occult books that depict humans growing from roots in the grounds or mandrakes, which are known to have occult properties for making one go insane.
Babies are also ready to join their elite clubs, and they're even given top hats. Technology, clothes, and empty cities. Babies floating in on boats, all signifying children being born or found and then taken by the mother, the one with the basket. Yet, this is a figure that represents the government's function as a mother, a corporate operation of generating foundlings in order to fill their newly emptied and burned cities with new humans. Whoever made these postcards are trying to tell us something very dark about the world we live in, as if it's humorous. There's an extraordinary amount of work put into these.
Weird. That shit's weird as shit. Fucking crazy, huh? Shit's kind of fucking weird, bro. If you don't know, buckle up, bud. Buckle up, buddy. Y'all think this is all just love, light, and like, ooh, kumbaya and shit. We get our minds unraveled around here, player.
Say it. Anyone with a top hat is a Mason. Well, at least when it comes to the early 1900s. I don't trust any of these people with top hats. But
wait, didn't Abraham Lincoln have a top hat?
What is a top hat? And why was every single person during this era wearing the same exact outfit? It's something we never really questioned, but when you look into many of these old photos, everyone is wearing the same thing, especially all of these corporate hats, robber barons. They wouldn't leave their house without a top hat. But what is a top hat, and when did this all begin? When it comes to top hats, we're typically speaking of a high hat, cylinder hat, or topper, which is traditionally associated with formal wear in the West that came to rise during the end of the 18th century. On December 1st, 1941, the United States Public Health Service banned the use of mercury in the felt industry. We can trace the felt hat industry back to mid-17th century France, and it most likely was introduced into England around 1830. Since its beginning, mercury was used in the process of the creation of these hats. At first, turkey camel hair was used for the felt material, and it was discovered that the process would be sped up if the fibers were moistened with camel urine. It is said that in France, the workmen would use their own urine to make these hats.
That's where it starts to get weird right there, dude. Oh shit, dude. They start to use urine, dude. What the fuck, dude?
Were the best for these felt hats, and everyone was so curious as to why this man's pee was so good at making felt hats.
Fuck, he almost gotta be. Oh, now the Mad Hatter. What the fuck? The Mad Hatter, dude? Oh shit, that was I'm talking bobbity boobity boobop.
Well, this is the story that they tell us. That this work had been treated for syphilis. And back in the day, they would just shoot up mercury to heal it, I guess, so that's how they tell the story. And this guy had mercury in his system. He was pissing on the fiber so that it would make better felt. And because the mercury was in his urine, they realized that it was the mercury that was responsible for creating the superior felt hats. This is the supposed reason that they started putting mercury in hats for more quality hats. Well, that seems awfully strange because they were aware of the effects of mercury poisoning as they've been using it for medicine and alchemy for thousands of years. But the thing is, mercury poisoning would cause dementia and Mad Hatter disease, which could be characterized.
Whoa, that's weird. The Mad Hatter. It's because it has mercury in it, and then it makes you have fucking psychosis and shit. What the fuck?
As delirium, hallucinations, and even suicidal tendencies. With severe cases, this would produce tremors throughout different parts of the body, including the mouth and tongue, making it difficult to speak properly. Those are in overexposure cases, with just the right amount. These effects can be more mild and last for years without anyone noticing, producing effects such as fatigue, loss of memory, vivid dreams, and depression. So what is Mad Hatter disease? Exposure to mercury, even low levels for periods of time, can cause health problems in humans. Prolonged exposure can lead to chronic mercury poisoning. This may be called Mad Hatter disease or Mad Hatter syndrome. Mad Hatter disease causes severe neurological effects known as erethism. It can lead to symptoms like headaches, behavioral changes, and weakness. Then, during the 18th to 20th centuries, hat makers would use mercuric nitrate to stiffen felt for these hats. These hats would produce vapors in which those who wore them not only would blow via their scalp, but would inhale in poorly ventilated areas. Over time, these hatters began having symptoms, including psychosis, excitability, and tremors throughout the body. It was so common that this is literally where the phrase mad as a hatter comes from. Think about the long-lasting effects this would have, especially if the populace were not aware and it was promoted as the new fashion. I mean, everyone was wearing these back in the day. You were a nobody if you didn't have one. So was there a purpose behind this? We all know of the crazy Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, but why does he act so crazy? During Lewis Carroll's time, mercury was being used in the process of creating top hats, and the Hatter is complete with all the characteristics of the disease: erratic, flamboyant, and silly behavior, along with mood swings being the most obvious symptoms of mercury poisoning. Why would Lewis Carroll add this top hat reference? Is there a deeper truth to this Mad Hatter character? Which, interestingly, in the newer films is presented more like a clown with red hair or some type of demon, Nephilim, which is also interesting because people claim to be visited by spirits of a similar nature. They call them Mad Hatter demons. They are demonic entities that have white faces and wear the top hat. You can find these symbols all over the place, even in games. But where does this phenomenon originate? Obviously a huge part of our psyche, but why? They're just top hats. Is it more than just a fashion statement? Or does it possibly represent a much darker truth? The Lewis character may have been one of the earliest characters of a Mad Hatter, but there are references from the 17th century in which a man, Robert Crabbe, who was an eccentric living in Chesham, England, gave all his good to the poor and lived on dock leaves and grass. However, Carroll may have based his Mad Hatter character on a Theophilus Cater, not a hatter, but a furniture dealer who was known locally as the Mad Hatter, partly because he always wore a top hat, was eccentric, and produced wacky inventions. This phrase, from its origin, was used to describe those who were crazy and prone to unpredictable behavior. Most employees would staff a variety of ailments called the Hatter Shakes, which were speech problems, emotional instability, and hallucinations. The top hat's origins go far before Alice in Wonderland, as these were most likely inspired by captains, which is a tall crowned hat from the late 1500s in northwestern.
She looks like a white bald cannibal, bro. Just saying. You guys might not be able to see it right there. If it's right there, Facebook.
Europe, worn by elites and their orphans.
Facebook, if you want to see the full screen, go to Tripoverdrip, all one word, on YouTube.
This is also known as the pilgrim hat. Why is it that all these pilgrims had top hats? It is said that they never really had a buckle on them, and even if they did, the buckle really...
4 people on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? What's up, dude? 19. We got 4 and 19, bro. What's up, motherfuckers? What's up, dude? What's happening? How are ya? How are ya? We're learning about the Hatters.
They didn't do anything. It's most likely a symbol or a reference. They actually didn't wear any buckles at all. So, Why is that in all these cartoons and depictions of pilgrims? Are they wearing a buckle? Perhaps it's a secret gesture? So these early Capitanes inspired the crown dark felt hats with wide brims that bursted in popularity during the leisure wear fashion.
It's kind of trippy, huh? Oh, I do like to drink my coffee at 8:23 at night. You're right. Okay, here's the deal, guys. Check this out. Real fast, bro. Real fast. Let me just close this out. We can just go right here, actually. Dude, just head over to Tripoverdrip on YouTube, bro. If you're on Facebook, I'm trying to get um 1,000 subs on YouTube, bro. I'm at 925. Let's go, bro. If you could possibly just help me out, come over to the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It's a little bit better. I like, like I noticed we were watching Mind Unveiled. It is a little clipped for you guys on Facebook, trying to get you from Facebook over to Tripoverdrip on YouTube. I'm gonna drop it in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh no. Refresh it up. Share channel. Share channel. Copy. That should take you there. Should take you there. If you're on Facebook, I think it will take you there. Yes, it takes you there. Hell yeah. 927 already? Dang, dude. Damn, dude. 927. 927. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, now we're going to do this too. We need you guys up in the Discord too. Discord is really, it's just kind of the shit. What's up, Eternity? Hell yeah. We need you in the Discord. We need you in the Discord. 23. 8 people on Facebooker? 8 people on Facebooker? No, on YouTube, I mean. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? Join the Discord if you want, bro. Dude, it's all of Team Human up in there and all these little group chats, bro. We gotta, like, freaking show me your house plants, sun and moon. We got a book chat, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got a wellness chat, the stuff they don't want you to know about health. You know what I'm saying? We've got, like, a red pill chat, dude. Hell yeah. Misty Car, what's up? 9 people. Let's go, bro. Okay, we're gonna probably... we are going... see, where's the chit chat? People joining? What's up, Loki? People joining the Discord, dude. Hell yeah, dude. What's up, Marie? What's up, Marie? We're getting ready to just probably watch one more little Mind Unveiled ski, and then I'm kind of done with the top hats. I thought it was going to be cooler than that, but I got time for one more little one. Alrighty. Let's see here. Shit gets crazy, bro. You could never actually... some of these go insane. He's got a ton, bro. You guys know. Let's go to the videos. I want him. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Julia, for being over here. Over here. This movie predicted the Charlie Kirk assassination. Crazy. Are we getting people up in here, dude? Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, YouTube is better, huh? That's why I like to. That's why I'm trying to get people from Facebook. We love you too, Julia. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. YouTube's way better. I personally think.
Hey guys. Some of you may have heard of this, but I thought it was an interesting bit of history, as I highly doubt the mainstream account that's presented.
No, not this
We're
one.
gonna
Not this one, huh? He's got a lot, dude. Direct energy weapons.
Hey guys. Today, we're gonna take a look at a lesser known history involving ancient technologies that you might think belong more in a sci-fi movie than in the dusty pages of historical text. We're gonna be talking about ancient directed energy weapons, or DEWs. Sounds futuristic? Well, you'd be surprised
What's up, Manda?
to learn how far back these kinds of technologies actually go, and how they may have been hidden, dismissed, or even covered up over time. So let's get to it. So let's start off with Archimedes. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with his name. He's that ancient Greek guy that we all learned about in school, credited with inventions like the Archimedes screw and famously known for running around the streets naked shouting Eureka, which, if you think about it, is a really weird story, as if Archimedes was some type of figure made to represent the technology and understandings of a previous time encapsulated into a single figure. But here's where it gets interesting. Archimedes is also often associated with creating an ancient death ray, a weapon that supposedly set Roman ships ablaze during the siege of Syracuse.
There they are, the mirrors. They use the sun just like to freaking, just like you would to, you know, how as a kid you get a magnifying glass and you like try and kill ants and stuff.
This is a very well-known story, yet, when brought up today, this account is often dismissed as myth or propaganda. So what's going on here?
Remember how we freaking. Let me just take a little tangent real fast and just pull up web real quick. Where was it at? Where was it at? Let me just. Nikola Tesla? Wait a second. Oh. It was the Teleforce? Who remembers this stream where we looked at this stuff? Teleforce. That was it, huh? Oh no, I closed her out! What was Tesla's Teleforce? Where was it? It was in the FBI vault. Can you pull up the files about Tesla and his direct energy laser? Yeah, woo woo. Sorry to see all this information. kind of get autistically excited for a second to just really deep dive into this direct energy weapon that Tesla made. FBI Nikola Tesla files. The records resides in the vault, spanning multiple PDFs, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. These are FBI Freedom of Information Act releases. What Tesla claimed about Tesla Force, or Teleforce, is a direct energy beam. The documents repeatedly describe a system Tesla characterized as an invisible Chinese wall of defense for the United States. The claims, drawn from multiple exhibits and FBI summaries. The beam's specification: a beam 1/100th of a centimeter in diameter. Let's pull up the documents. Operating through 200 million volts, with the beam itself attaining 50 million volts. Generated from a plant costing $2 million, taking about 3 months to construct. What it would do, it would melt airplane engines from 250 miles. Ignite explosives aboard any bomber. Tesla described it as all-penetrating, with no possible defense against it. The physics is described. Tesla said it was based on an entirely new principle of physics that no one had ever dreamed about. Distinct from his alternating current and induction motor work, the document titled "A New Art of Projecting Concentrated Non-Dispersive Energy Through Natural Media" describes an electrostatic generator accelerating charged particles through an open-ended vacuum tube, a beam of high-energy electrons passing through air as the concentrated non-dispersive transmission medium. Crazy as fuck, huh? Exhibit H documents that Tesla offered his death ray system to the British government as well through a series of letters. Perhaps the most fascinating thread is what happened after Tesla died in 1943. A secret memorandum in the file from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Foreign Technology Division reveals the Soviet Union allegedly had access to some of Tesla's papers, possibly through Belgrade, and that this influenced their early research into direct energy weapons. The same memo notes that portions of Tesla's papers were shipped by the custodian of Alien Property Office in Washington, D.C. to a technical lab research at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, possibly the Q Lab, now closed or reorganized, but that no one could locate them in classified or unclassified libraries at the base. The request was made to examine FBI files to track down where Tesla's actual papers ended up. Crazy, huh? And then you find out Donald Trump's uncle is the one who went through all of Tesla's stuff. Seems weird, huh? Seems a little sus, don't it?
Could this story be more grounded in reality than we've been led to believe? And if this really was an ancient device that could melt metal, then what are the implications? Could it have been a tool for causing resets, eradicating warring nations, or even wiping out entire civilizations? Archimedes is famously credited for principles in hydrostatics and mechanics, exemplified by inventions such as the Archimedes screw, used for water irrigation, and mechanical devices like the claw of Archimedes, which is accepted to have been actually used in ancient times, but for some reason, historians think that this ancient heat ray is too fanciful of a tale, and that it was debunked by Mythbusters. Even History Channel has a video on it, but they cover the good information and then say it's aliens, which is just a shame. Is it too far-fetched to consider that the ancients devised a way to amplify light for thermal applications? If Archimedes' other inventions were not only plausible but revolutionary, why would this particular story be a fabrication? Is it not within the realm of possibility that a genius who revolutionized multiple fields of science could engineer a way to focus sunlight as a weapon? Especially when we consider that modern experiments, while not universally conclusive, have indeed shown that focusing sunlight to ignite a combustible material is possible. So could it be that we're dealing with various interpretations or even lost variations of an ancient device? It's important to recognize that the understandings of optics was far from rudimentary in ancient times. The Greeks and Romans had a reasonably sophisticated grasp of lenses and light reflection. Moreover, texts from antiquity suggest that Archimedes used burning glasses as part of his death ray. This opens up a whole new avenue, as are we not confusing burning mirrors with burning glasses? Two technologies that, although similar, are not the same. This distinction might be the key to understanding the blurry line between myth and reality in the Archimedes tale. It could be that what we call a death ray today was actually an advanced use of burning glasses or Fresnel lenses and mirrors, which had legitimate and varied applications in antiquity. Burning glasses have been a topic of fascination for millennia. They're essentially large convex lenses that focus the sun's rays into a small area, intensifying the heat to such a degree that they could start fires or cauterize wounds. And this isn't just
Cauterize wounds? That is insane. That is insane. Alright, guys. We're winding down. But I just want to show you one more thing before we go, just for anybody who doesn't know. Alright? Let me just go ahead and just pull this up over here. Let me just go ahead and bring this in nice and big over here so everybody can read it. Wait a second, who did Jeffrey represent? Didn't he tell Peter Thiel that he represented the Rothschilds? Yes, your recollection is correct. We're just gonna read this real fast before I go. Just leave you with a little gem of knowledge. Epstein directly told Peter Thiel that he represented the Rothschilds. Some documents contain 2 copies of the exact same email from Epstein to Peter Thiel, where Epstein explicitly states, "As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds." The email chain is dated Sunday, February 28th, 2016. The "I represents the Rothschild" email. Right there for everyone to see it. As you may know, to Peter Thiel from Jeffrey Epstein, to Jeffrey Epstein from Peter Thiel. This is Jeffrey Epstein's response. I represent the Rothschilds. Thiel replied cautiously, saying he'd avoid the Middle East for the next decade or so and proposed meeting in the East Coast. What does represent the Rothschilds mean? The documents give important context. Epstein's dealings with the Rothschilds were not abstract name-dropping. They were active. Ariane de Rothschild, the head of Rothschild Bank, was in regular contact. Epstein emailed Bill Gates and Boris Nikolic in August 2013 saying, Ariane Rothschild, head of the Rothschild, will be in New York on September 22nd. He also tried to set up meetings between Joshua Cooper Ramo and the Rothschild's French bank. Epstein's calendar shows September 11, 2014, an appointment from 12 to 4 p.m. The appointment was with Ariana de Rothschild, with a note that Epstein might fly to Montreal with her. His calendar also lists Rothschild as a recurring contact for meetings along Thiel and Vitaly Churkin, the Russia's UN ambassador, Tom Barak, and others. Epstein was deeply engaged in Kenneth Starr's 2010 fraud case, which he associated with Lady de Rothschild. He wrote to journalists David Stern and Peter Mandelson. The French advisor arrested in New York this week, Kenneth Starr, was an advisor to Lady Rothschild, and the other person indicted was her ex-husband, Andrew Stein. Her co-Firstmark Holdings Inc. was advised by Starr and had Kissinger and Conrad Black as directors. Epstein and Ariana de Rothschild exchanged emails in December 2013 about anti-Semitism in France, with Ariane sending Epstein a video by a French politician naming Dudonde and saying, "We are between Kafka and National Socialism." But who did Epstein actually represent? This is where it gets murky, and the documents reflect that confusion was by design. Across the records, multiple profiles of Epstein, including international Dutch bank Know Your Customer documents and magazine profiles, consistently say the only publicly named client was Leslie Wexner. Every profile notes that all of his clients were anonymous except for the very wealthy businessman Leslie Wexner, who owned Victoria's Secret. A Vanity Fair profile referenced in the Department of Justice files captures the ambiguity perfectly. He's a freelancer. That's the rub. He doesn't work for anyone. So Epstein told Thiel, "I represent the Rothschild." He was making a claim that cannot be independently verified from any of the bank records, documents, investigative profiles in his collection. The Rothschild's names appear in his calendar and emails as business contacts, not documented clients. Kind of crazy. Just wanted to leave y'all with a little gem, you know what I'm saying, before we take off for the night. I will see y'all tomorrow. You heard me? Oh. Peace out, honey. Peace out, homies. Peace out.